Let's begin not with a question, but with the confession we all share, the confession of the lost hour. You open an app, a vibrant, endlessly scrolling mosaic of human life intending to stay for just a moment. A single swipe turns into a cascade, a dance trend, a cooking hack, a political hot take condensed into a furious 20 seconds, a celebrity drama unfolding in real time. The world contracts to the size of your screen. Suddenly, you look up. The light in your room has changed. An hour, maybe more, has vanished without a trace, leaving behind a peculiar mental residue, a digital hangover. It's a feeling of being simultaneously wired and weary, your mind cluttered with the ghosts of 1,000 fleeting images, yet your soul feeling profoundly empty. You've been at the world's biggest party, but you've spoken to no one and learned nothing of substance. This experience is so universal it has become a cliche, but have we truly grappled with what it means? In 2015, a widely circulated study by Microsoft Canada reported that the average human attention span had dropped to just 8 seconds, 1 second less than that of a goldfish. While the methodology of that specific study has been debated, its conclusion struck a chord with millions because it felt profoundly true. It gave a name and a number to the cognitive fragmentation we all feel. We are living in the great paradox of the information age, possessing access to all of human knowledge, yet finding it harder than ever to sustain the focus required to absorb any of it. Why is this? Is it a personal failing, a collective loss of willpower? The truth is far more structural and far more intentional. We are not failing the system is failing us. The digital worlds we inhabit are not neutral public squares. They are meticulously crafted environments, engineered with the precision of a casino to achieve a single goal, the complete and total capture of your attention. And in the process, they have created an ecosystem that is not just inhospitable, but actively hostile to deep, critical, and nuanced thought. Welcome to the Carnival of the Perpetual now. It is grander and more intoxicating than ever before. It's a place where the past is forgotten in the next swipe, and the future is an irrelevant concept. The air is thick with the sticky, sweet residue of instant dopamine hits. The music is a cacophony of 1,000,000 trending audios playing at once, each one a shortcut to a pre-packaged emotion. The carnival barkers no longer need to shout. They have an algorithm, a ruthless auctioneer that sells your attention, millisecond by millisecond, to the most stimulating, most emotionally charged, most brain-hijacking spectacle available. And in this carnival, there is one cardinal sin, one unforgivable crime: slowness. Thoughtfulness is the enemy of momentum. Nuance is the friction that grinds the whole machine to a halt. If this portrait of the digital carnival already makes you feel seen, if it gives language to a discomfort you've long felt but couldn't name, then I invite you to subscribe and join our quiet corner at Mind Decode Explained. Together, we step away from the noise to understand the forces shaping our minds, seeking clarity in an age of deliberate confusion. To dismantle this carnival, we must first understand how its machinery works. Not metaphorically, but scientifically. The business model is the engine. These platforms are free to use, which means we are not the customers. Our attention is the product being sold to advertisers. This creates an economic imperative of staggering force. Keep the user on the platform for as long as humanly possible. How is this achieved? Through an algorithmic feedback loop fine-tuned to cater to the most primal parts of our brain. A landmark 2018 study from MIT, published in the prestigious journal Science, analyzed over 126 zero stories tweeted millions of times. Their findings were chilling. On every single metric, falsehoods spread significantly farther, faster, deeper, and more broadly than the truth. False news was 70% more likely to be retweeted than true news. Why? The researchers concluded it was because false stories were consistently more novel and triggered stronger emotional reactions: surprise, fear, disgust. The truth, often being complex and less sensational, simply couldn't compete. The algorithm, in its blind quest for engagement, had learned to prefer lies. It had discovered that outrage is a more reliable engine for attention than accuracy. This dynamic taps directly into our neurochemistry. Every time you swipe and see something new and stimulating, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward and motivation. This is the exact same mechanism that makes slot machines and video games so addictive. It's called a variable reward schedule. Because you never know if the next swipe will bring something amazing or something boring, you are compelled to keep pulling the lever. This isn't an accident, it's a design choice. As tech ethicist Tristan Harris, a former Google employee, has pointed out, there are 1,000 people on the other side of your screen whose job is to break down your self-regulation. The result is a state of perpetual distraction. Dr. Gloria Mark, a professor of informatics at the University of California, Irvine, has spent over a decade studying the effects of the digital environment on our focus. Her research before the smartphone era found that people in an office setting would switch tasks, on average, every 3 minutes. By 2014, it was down to 59 seconds. More recent studies suggest it is now even lower. We are training our brains to exist in a state of constant flux. But what is the cost? Dr. Mark's research also found that after being interrupted, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to the original task. Our days are being shredded into a confetti of microtasks, destroying our ability to enter a state of deep work, that zone of uninterrupted concentration where complex problems are solved and meaningful creations are born. We are consuming a diet of what can only be described as intellectual junk food. Like processed food, it's engineered to be hyper-palatable. It's cheap, it's everywhere, and it requires no effort to consume. It gives us a quick burst of energy, the energy of a strong opinion, a shared outrage, a laugh, but it provides zero intellectual nutrition. It leaves us bloated with information, but starved of wisdom. A brain fed exclusively on this diet slowly loses its ability to digest complex intellectual meals. It forgets the taste of nuance. It loses the patience for a long, intricate argument. This environment also systematically elevates the wrong voices thanks to cognitive biases like the Dunning-Kruger effect. A true expert understands that their field is a vast ocean and their knowledge is but an island. They speak with caution and acknowledge uncertainty. But the confident novice, whose knowledge is a shallow pond they mistake for the ocean, speaks with absolute, unwavering certainty. On a 30-second video, who is more compelling? The expert who says, the data is complex, and there are multiple competing theories. Or the novice who shouts, here is the one secret they don't want you to know. The algorithm, which equates confidence and engagement with value, will amplify the novice every single time. It creates a meritocracy of performance, not of competence. And so we arrive at the great, tragic insight. The scarcity of deep, intellectual content on our main feeds is not an accident. It is not a bug in the system. It is a feature. The system is working exactly as it was designed. It is designed to filter out complexity. It is designed to reward simplistic, emotionally charged content. It is designed to keep us in a state of agitated, reactive, System 1 thinking, because a reflective, calm, System 2 mind is a mind that might just get bored and close the app. A thoughtful user is a bad customer. This is the central hostility. The very architecture of the medium is at war with the requirements of deep thought. Deep thought requires silence. The feed is pathologically loud. Deep thought requires sustained focus. The feed is designed for fragmentation. Deep thought requires comfort with ambiguity and nuance. The feed rewards black and white certainty. Deep thought is a slow, deliberate process. The feed operates at the speed of instinct. So where do we go from here? Do we surrender to the carnival, accepting a future of intellectual atrophy? No. We recognize the carnival for what it is, and we begin the deliberate work of building our own sanctuary. We build our quiet observatory. An observatory is a place of intention. No one stumbles into one. You go there for a purpose, to see clearly. It requires effort climbing the hill, polishing the lens, learning the star charts. But the reward is a perspective that is unavailable to the crowd in the valley below. Building your observatory is a practical, four-step process. First, the audit. You cannot manage what you do not measure. For one full day, become a neutral observer of your own behavior. Don't judge, just notice. How many times do you unlock your phone? Studies suggest the average is between 80 and 150 times a day. Notice what triggers you to reach for it. Is it boredom, anxiety, a moment of stillness? Notice what content you consume and how it makes you feel afterward. The goal is simply to replace unconscious habit with conscious awareness. Second, environment design. The most effective way to change a habit is to change the environment that enables it. Be the architect of your own focus. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Every buzz, every ping is a victory for the carnival. Move your social media apps off your home screen and into a folder, requiring an extra intentional step to open them. Designate no phone zones in your home, like the dinner table or the bedroom. Create friction. Make it easier to do what you want to do. Read a book, have a conversation, and harder to do what you want to do less. Scroll endlessly. Third, the practice of deep consumption. This is about choosing your format with intention. You must retrain your attention span like a muscle. Start small. Set a timer for 15 minutes and read a challenging article or a chapter of a book with no other distractions. The next day, try for 20 minutes. Actively seek out the formats of depth, long-form video essays, multi-hour podcasts, investigative journalism. Follow the creators who speak in paragraphs, not sound bites. Pay for content from writers you admire to support a media ecosystem that isn't dependent on algorithmic advertising. Fourth, seeking a state of flow. This is the ultimate goal. Flow is that magical state of being so immersed in a task that time seems to disappear. It is the opposite of the fragmented time of the carnival. It is the reward of the observatory. You can find it by engaging in activities that challenge you just enough, not so hard that you give up, but not so easy that you get bored. It could be learning an instrument, coding, painting, or mastering a complex topic. This is the ultimate nourishment for the brain. This is not a call for technological Luddism. It is a call for technological mindfulness. It is about moving from being a passive user, manipulated by forces you don't understand, to being a conscious, empowered master of your own tools. The carnival will always be there, its lights glittering seductively in the valley. And sometimes, you may choose to visit it for a moment of light entertainment, but you will no longer live there. You will know that your true home is in the observatory, high on the hill. You are the astronomer of your own mind, and you have chosen the timeless, profound, and silent beauty of the stars over the frantic, fleeting, and hollow noise below. And in that quiet, deliberate choice, you will find your focus, your clarity, and your freedom.